a lot of broken homes, and you have a lot of children. I mean, a lot of single parents, as far as mothers that are working. Half of us are working. We're going to school, and we're doing this as a daily routine. And it's like it's no time for us to even have that unity because we're taking care of kids. We're working 9 to 5. We're putting in hours at school, and it's a repeated process. And it's no trust. It's no trust within our community as far as women. Me personally, I feel like we don't know how to trust each other. We don't know how to talk to each other. We're too offensive, mainly because we have always had to work hard to get what we want, and it don't come to us easy. It's like a rat race almost that we're dealing with on a daily basis. And this is just coming from me personally as a single parent. I'm dealing with it now as me doing everything by myself, and for my children. And so the main focus it's on singles. You only focusing on yourself because you're trying to get somewhere. And technically, you don't know where you're trying to get because there's so many hurdles to get through. It's so hard. It's frustrating. And I would say everybody has their own individual life that they're living. And it's like family comes first. And when you say family, you look at yourself and your kids, and that's your family. And you have to make sure that they're together before you can worry about anybody else. And that's just from my own personal experience.
All right, that was some deep stuff. It's actually my wife, Chamaria Gaines. I don't know if she's able to speak right now, but she's on the line listening in. But whenever you get a chance, Chamaria, please chime in. I know you're listening, but 305. I keep forgetting your number. I mean your name. You want to on that what the sister just said?
Say that again, bro.
I say you want to build on that what the sister just said?
I was looking into what me and you were just talking about. I was online searching for that, so I really had to mute the phone.
Okay, Z, you got anything you want to build on that?
Yeah, I feel that she right in the way of a woman and even in the way of a man, because a lot of us came from single parent households with the same type of struggle. So that's what we tend to look out for first, self and basically family first, and then everything else come after.
Yeah, I was just talking to my older brother TJ about this because he's got a son that's a teenager, and he was starting to try to get him into the real world, trying to deal with credit and jobs and bills. But I told him that all of that is good, but our main problem is we don't see the guy down the road or in another state as our brother. This is our biggest problem. And just like what the sister bought, when we talk about family and community, it literally starts from our home, and this is how we get gains or sets, hoods, whatever. It starts from your house. You represent your house first or that last name, and then you turn around and represent that street. I know you as a kid, and my cousin know this, we represented our street. Anybody who stayed on that street of 59th was family outside of our house. Then, boom, we go to the next street, so on, and then that's when you have city. Okay, you from Dade County, I'm from Palm Beach. We not the same. We different. And that was one of the things that I seen that was a big problem in the black community. And just like, and I was listening to Jay-Z song, the story of OJ. And in that song, he has a verse that says something about do not die for a street you don't own. This is one of our mindset, but like the sister say, it's good that we're bringing out these problems so now we can try to lead to solutions. But I know you talked about, you said trust was one of our problems, and I would say our understanding of family. So there are two problems right there when we're talking about not only sisterhood, but pretty much blacks in general. Now, I'm going to just try to pass the mic to somebody else. If the sister want to come back and elaborate, then I can build. 3, 5. Okay. I'll just go and talk about.
Hey, I'm here. If I'm able to speak.
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to agree with the sister. She brought up some good points that I can definitely relate to. Matter of fact, I'm with the kids right now, but I think one of the problems that black women have with coming together, like she was saying, is just we not really taught how. Like even how we say all we know is our family, is our kids, and like the close ones to us. When you look at like black people in a whole, we don't really even know our immediate family that well. At least speaking for myself, like past second cousins, I might not know you, you know. So we just raised to see each other as the enemies too, especially black women, and it's like it's really just about relearning how to really love each other again, just like real sisters, like blood sisters. I think we lost the basic, concern for each other, and that's just, as a product of the society we live in. Then, just as she was saying, single parent homes, that's conducive to how the system got it set up. Automatically, if you're a single mother, the next black woman is your number one enemy, because 9 times out of 10, a black woman came and took, your man from you. That's just what's happening these days. So it's just a whole system that we gotta learn how to get out of and learn how to look at each other in a different light.
Okay. Just to elaborate a little bit, I feel like that, and a lot of that, like she said, has to deal with how we were taught. Like she said, even with close cousins, you grow up, and just because you might not stay in the same neighborhood as your second cousin, they automatically, say that, oh, well, you don't need to hang out with that cousin because you're better than this cousin. And that's just the mindset that we have been raised with each other. So we grow up automatically thinking that, oh, we got the same bloodline, but just because we didn't live in the same neighborhood, then I'm better than she is, or she's better than I am. And it goes on from generation to generation.
Okay. Man, that was powerful. Now, you touched up on something that I really, not only did I could relate to, because me personally, I'm finally coming in understanding, and I have, even though I have a wife, I have some baby mamas outside of her, and I know they're both are single parents right now. So I can totally understand that, and when, like you say, I got 5 kids myself, I can understand how, even if you want to get stuff done, because kids can take up so much time. It can be just so overwhelming. It can be just tiresome. It could really weigh you down at the end of the day. Now, I'm gonna try to switch over to these same problems. Like I say, we identified problems. Now let's try to deal with solutions. Number one, how can we help single mothers with their kids and and the time spent with them, that make sure they're not only somebody's watching them in a proper manner and teaching them the proper instructions so we can start to reverse this psychology. And this is the first, like I say, I'm going to throw out just a solution, and then I'm going to let other people join in and build and so on and so forth. So one thing that I've been thinking that is very plausible, financially wise, for any and everybody almost throughout the whole country. I've been speaking to my wife, we've been talking about a GoFundMe. Now you just, I don't know the sister Mayo, you just gave the GoFundMe a purpose, because we didn't have no idea what we would create a GoFundMe for. But now, since we talk about single parents, we need to think about, I won't say daycare centers, because that takes brick and mortar and that takes a lot of money. I would think we need to set up a GoFundMe to pay sisters who are in certain states to get certain people to watch their kids that they can trust. That way, she's not just looking for the baby father or the system to aid her in this daycare and child watching. Now, here's what I pose as far as GoFundMe price. And I was talking to my wife, and I do this at my job. My job takes out $1 every paycheck to go to a store fund, that if anybody at the store fall on a hard time, that money that everybody pays into in this big company, I'm going to tell you, I work at the Home Depot. And you know how big the Home Depot is. They're getting $1 from everybody a check. So, and that does not hurt. I know some of us are doing bad, but I don't think $1 a check will really put a dent in everybody's pocket. It just would take participation. And now, like I say, we can take this dollar to this GoFundMe, and we can say to the sisters who's willing and able, okay, she not only needs help with daycare or somebody's watching a kid, we're going to make sure that there's a conscious person in her state, in her area. Search out this person. That, hey, we're going to put this in your pocket for you to help watch this sister kid. Now, that is my first solution. I'm going to let some other people either build on that, come up with something new. Everything's on the table. So, I know the brother 305 is, yeah, he was doing his little legal case. But 901 849, I know you just came in. If you got some, if you just heard what I said, if you want to build on that, I'm going to let you get the first go. If you want to just listen in, I'm going to go to Z. If not.
This brother Divine, I believe Zeke should speak on that. I'm not really too sure about the whole, conversation that we spoke.
Is this the Divine the more?
That is good.
Is that what, is you the brother I talked to like a week ago?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, I just had a brother on the line who was trying to deal with some legal issues, but he just jumped off. So that was the first thing he was dealing with, but I'm going to catch you up. I was first posing the scenario of how we need to identify problems, and then we need to address them in a plausible way. The sister, the first thing I brought out, I was like unity amongst sisters. We know men can sometimes put their differences aside and build, but women, women of color, they tend to not build as much as brothers do. And the sister went over some reasons why women don't build as much as men. She said first, because a lot of us are single parents, and a lot of our time going to our kids. It brought up trust, and she brought up on how we was raised, on how we don't see people outside of our immediate family as family. But if you just heard what I said, when I did, but go ahead.
Okay, I can't speak now. Due to the fact that it being single parenting, that's more of a personal characteristic goal, in my opinion. But just say for instance, like daycare. Majority of what you see taking care of the children is female. You have majority female. The thing is how are you going to reach the female to come together and unify? You see, so from that aspect, I can only produce what the prophet brought because we supposed to have schools. And if we have schools, daycare is included within. See, so it still takes a nation. Now, individually, it could be a lot of stagnation due to we talking about the Federal Reserve note. So that's a different ball game in my opinion. But I'm gonna leave it at that. I can't say no more than that. It's mine.
Okay, brother. I just want to know if you heard. Did you come in at this point when I talked about like having a little GoFundMe, maybe $1 a week?
I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I'm all for it. Yeah.
Just like you just did. You just reshape what I said. Not only can it be, providing daycare, okay, now we can put this $1 a paycheck to this school, like you say, that comes with the daycare. So that is even better. So, and it's more about, like you say, putting out the word and participating. It's not, and just to try to make it realistic because talk is cheap. Anybody, I can trust anybody with $1. So anybody can start this towards this school, whatever, for the price. It ain't got to be like a Umar Johnson. We don't need $1 million school. We just need land in a building. And that, you can easily get that. Especially with the people I know who are, the elder is a carpenter. So building, you just need wood and land almost, but it's definitely going to take some participation. Like I said, it doesn't have to start with me. It could start with you, Brother Divine. It could start with the sister. It could start with my cousin. It could, somebody just have to start it, and I would easily. If I can give it to the white man, and at my job, I can give it to y'all. I get $2. Make it even better. But at some point, we're going to have to try to kick this off and try. And it just takes building. But this is why we got to talk first, work out, actually put our thing in motion. But I'm going to let my cousin Z, you want to build on this information?
Yeah. School. I'm all for the $1 a day, and school is the first, like I say, the first thing you need to start reshaping minds. Somebody said start from the ground up, basically rebuilding and relearning what you feel me, reprogramming, and that's the main thing, because a lot of people don't know, and they'll keep sending their kids to public schools to learn the same stuff that really, you know, it works somewhat in this world, but stuff that we really need to know, we don't know. Like basically, like I say, we don't even know our outside of our second cousin, and we don't, like I said, a lot of us don't even know history before slavery. So you know, that's definitely going in a good direction when you're talking about the school and you know getting conscious people to teach. You know,
Yeah.
That's definitely good too. So, like I say, whenever, however you can get that started, man, that's the way to go. I'm talking about like ASAP.
Yeah. Sister, you want to say anything that's about this information? Mail, sister, mail.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm here. I had my phone on mute because of this beat up down. It's gonna end real soon. Basically, what I wanted to say is the GoFundMe account was to get set up. Then how would the money be issued out? Would it be issued out through a check? Would the money go to the organization that's watching the kids? See, what my situation is, my children are a little older. So they had to learn how to be a little self-sufficient at an early age. And we got a system within my household that works for us. And I'm fortunate enough to have conscious people around me in the area that I live in that will look out for my children when I need them to, if need be. But I know a lot of other people don't. And I feel like $1 a day, $2 a day, or however it works, it would be great to help parents that have problems with finances. That's living paycheck to paycheck, and I'm speaking of myself as well. So the question would be, how would this start? How would the money get issued out? What is the fee for the parents to make sure that their kids get to where they need to be? And there's also a lot of other things that can be factored in as far as we said education and child care, educating them on who they really are and where they come from. And as far as public schools is concerned, you know, a lot of us, we can't help but to send our kids to public schools because of the laws that we were not aware of. And now that our kids are in public school, they are learning, like the brother said, a lot of things that they do learn are good as far as reading and math, in my opinion, but everything else is not. My daughter just told me the other day they came home and learning about indentured servants, so they calling it now, how to pick cotton. So it's still a psychological process that they're teaching the kids that you are just a slave. You came from slavery, so you're going to be a slave. So we're going to teach you how to work in our system. So, me personally, I think the GoFundMe account would be great to assist mothers that need help financially. And the question is just, how would it be issued out to the parents or to whoever's keeping the kids, and making sure that the kids are getting proper food and the proper knowledge that they need to proceed in life. And I think mostly single parents, as far as myself, that care, that's our main concern. And then also people who we can trust around our kids. Because you can't trust everyone around your kids. Even certain people that say they're conscious. You still can't trust them around your kids. Like I said, the biggest problem is trust. And building a relationship.
Yeah. Brother Divine, you got anything you want to say before I speak?
Yeah. That's the main purpose of the Circle 7. You know what I'm saying? And to us uniting together every Friday and Sunday. You know, Friday night, Holy Night, and Sunday school. As a complete package, that's how you build up your trust, your faith card, when you know a member is being faithful, or i.e. being a faithful more. And once you recognize that he's a faithful more, then that's when someone has a trust with you, or then becomes a trustee of your soul. You see what I'm saying? Of your soul, man, to be one and the same. you know what I'm saying, on one accord. But yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna let Jameria, if she wanna say something before I say something. Let everybody get a chance to speak.
Yeah, I'm just listening right now.
All right. So now, once again, we've identified some issues. One, like the sister brought out, is pretty much administrative business, like say how we're going to disseminate this money, if that is the case, checks, and just like she brought out, and the brother Divine brought out, dealing with trust. Now we need solutions on. I will start with the trust. Brother Divine, I'll start with just kind of pose this to you. Can you give like 3 steps so we can kind of challenge somebody to see if they trustworthy? It ain't got to be 3. It could be 1. It could be 2. It could be more. But I'm just trying to give you an idea. What are some things we can lay in front of a person or just kind of test them like, okay, you know, I just met you. You sound good. Like sister say, some conscious people ain't really conscious. What
Well,
do, like, just leave a dollar around them, see if they take it? Like, what can we do to establish trust among somebody? Go ahead.
well, first off, man must know himself. You know, that's first. But then man knows not by being told. So there's action with that. You got to show instead of prove. And basically, me coming from a different background, I would say investigation. You know, seeing how one act in one forum in a classroom setting, and then take them out of that forum. You know, get some drinks, get them loose. You know, see how a person changes. You know, they call beer, wine, and spirits for a reason. So, that's my opinion on that. You know, get to see the character of a person, or reverse psychology, etc. And then at the same token, you can look within the soul. You know, the character of a person. You know, you can just about. I mean, I know I can. You know, when I first meet people, I can tell certain things about them, and I try to overlook it, and then come out, you know, 3 months later, that's really who they are. So that's really, don't second guess that small, still voice that's in your heart, because that's the voice of Allah. So really, you know, if we just really just learn to take on the information properly and build in that way, shape, and form together with the unit right here, then we'll be above boundaries without measure in the future. I mean, as far as the school, etc., you know, you can get a grant, etc., 501c3, Secretary of State, you know, get a building. You know, it's a building out here in Memphis and Bartlett I have a connection to, you know, and then I'm looking at another building. But small, you know, long story short, there's ways around it, but just remember the Moorish American prayer. He is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through the Holy Prophet. So as long as you're listening to the prophet, a prophet is to save you from the wrath of Allah. Let's just study. We have to study to be saved, you know, together, you know. That's my opinion on it. I mean, if it's off the subject of Noble Ali, it's really like, you know, but I mean, that's what a headstone is, you know, because we get off subject and the other loops that we take will get us off course and have us jumping through more loops than a little bit, you know, when you can just go right next door, you know, and get the sugar that you wanted, you know, off a face card, off a trust. You see what I'm saying? So that goes back into trust. If I have a neighbor that trusts me, I can go next door and say, hey, you know, can I get some sugar or whatnot, versus spending money, gas, store, taxes, etc. You know.
Yeah, Zeke, you wanna? Like I said, I asked, what can we do to, like I say, test somebody to see if we can trust them or not? We try, like I say, brother said pretty much, he can kind of sense it as soon as you meant, and he also said, some other thing, I know he said he can sense it. He said, we need to trust in our, and I think he said come back to circle 7. So Z, anything you can propose that we can lay down in front of a person to establish trust amongst them?
Well, like you say, in some ways you can sense when you go to talking about money, the type of people who be the first to the pot sometimes ain't the ones to be trusting with no money. But at the same time, like you said, for long, everybody show their true hand or whatnot. So if before you even go as far as to even trust somebody with money, put them in charge of some type of money, like try to figure out some type of background. You kind of want to shoot towards somebody who might be an accountant or something like that, who deal with money, who ain't gonna be, who really know the true value of the situation and things like that, and that's work for the cause. Because you got somebody, like you say, somebody who playing and pretending to be something that they really not, just to get a couple of dollars. They come a dime a dozen sometimes. So you got impossible. You always know when it come to money, you always gotta keep that third eye open. But like I said, I lean towards getting some type of treasury system. People who deal with money and who probably been taught to deal with money and know the true value of what the money is to be used for.
All right, just let me know when you're done speaking.
I'm done right now.
All right, sister. Same question. The sister Mayo. Is there anything that you believe we can do? Like you say, try to establish trust between one and another, because that is a big problem. Like I said, a lot of people are saying, "Hey, you can sense it." So, what do you think on trust? How can we test them, or some things we might need to look for first before trusting? If you still there.
I'm here. I agree with Brother Divine with what he said as well. Basically studying a person, and a person can show one face, and then when you get them in a different environment, they may show another face. So just basically studying the person, and like you said, going with that gut instinct, that brain inside your stomach. So and that's basically it.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll chime. Jamiri, I don't know if you still listening, if you got anything to say. If you just listen, I'll go ahead and say my little piece.
Yeah, I'm just listening right now.
Alright. One thing that I would definitely agree with everybody. It is something that, a vibration a person get off. Like I said, I'm in a new state. I'm from Florida. Now I live in Texas. So I'm meeting new people. I can sense, just like everybody said, I can sense if a person is a good brother. And just like we are, some of us have some backgrounds to where we was probably in that unconscious state where we was probably in the streets. I can sense if a person is more wrapped around being in the streets, or a person just more wrapped around in just being a working person, or whatever a person is about, it comes off on them. So that's definitely, I would even make that number one. We can all sense and vibe, just like the brother Divine. As soon as I met him, I can sense. Okay, I got a good brother. I want to build with him. Looking forward to build with him. Just like my cousin, I can see his demeanor and the information he's putting out. Okay, I can sense it. Let me build. And this is one of the things why I can't do it on my own. I don't know everybody in the world, but if you leave an open window, you can let the good people in. Now, I will say this on the other hand, because maybe it's just the fool in me. I want to try to give every person a chance. And I know we talked about background. That is important in reality. My little fantasy world, I try to give every single black person a chance and let him ruin that chance. That way I'm being unobjective, and like I say, everybody has a clean slate in my new world since coming into my understanding. So, what I'm saying is to say that there are some people who I've met in Texas, people have warned me about. And I don't really like to give a prejudgment of a person and never not really truly met him. But I understand how, hey, if I tell you there's a snake in the grass and you walk on over there, don't be surprised if you get bit. So I understand that, but like that's why I say it's just me. I try to give everybody a chance and go from there. And like I say, the senses do kick in. And dealing with
right.
And dealing with
Can I add that?
Just let me get about one more 60 seconds, brother. I'm gonna
Peace. Okay.
Just like when we're dealing with money, you could know money from the back end. You could know money, but some people just have their own perspective or own agendas, what they want to do with money. Now, the reason it's not, so we understand everything, it's not $1 a day, this GoFundMe that I'm talking about, it's $1 a paycheck. $1 a paycheck. If you get paid a week, you get paid every 2 weeks. That's why you can't really get around. It's hard not to support that. Now, when we're talking about, like you say, trusting, that's why I say I can trust anybody with $1. It's hard to get burnt. So that's why at some point, if it's going to be this jump into a school, daycare, it's got to be a little faith. And this is something that, like I say, it's only $1. That's why I said $1 a paycheck, or either the people around you. If they ask for $5, make sure it's a small amount, something you can definitely handle. See how they work with that. I'm not telling you, hey, somebody asks you for $500, go and give away, but small amounts of money seem to tell you a lot about a person. I will say that, but go ahead, Divine.
Okay, I just wanted to make something small but valuable. Actually, that's great as well. And when you actually question a person, you won't know what you got. You see, like when I talk to a lot of sisters, I let them know, you don't know what you have unless you question it, because you get what you ask for when you didn't ask for anything. You see what I'm saying? So you can just about tell the character if you question your wording a certain way to see what the response gonna be. Because as the Bible speaks, it says that the Spirit will tell you who it is. If it says that that's what it is, that's what it is. But everything is subject to change. See, and so you gotta understand that you're dealing with a people that's depressed. And when you're dealing with something that's depressed, they don't feel like they're a part of nothing. You see? So even when the nation kicked Malcolm X out, because of the knowledge he grew to know of us as a people, which we're sharing today, he had to protect himself. He was outside of the body. when the body is unconscious and laying up in the coma, and you're not utilizing your right leg, but you're utilizing everything else, that right leg is going to die off. It's going to start to kill itself, and it's going to kill the rest of the body. So you have to learn to love instead of hate. So if we address it in such a way to where the security or security is the first step, you know. And so if we can't come together as a small group here, as we the willing, you know, led by the knowing, doing the impossible for the ungrateful. But we have done so much for so long with so little that we can just about do anything with nothing at all as a people, you know. So abortions and all of that third and third, you know, I don't believe in that, because in the old days we was getting 2 pennies, like Umar Johnson spoke of, you know, and still surviving. So I don't think there's nothing that's impossible today, for the simple fact that, you know, of the belief and the fruition and the mastery that we have grown to succeed today as a people, that the prophet said that, you know, the Europeans is only a thought of our Lord's self. They want to be so much like us, even if we at the bottom of the barrel, they still want to be like us. So once we straighten up, they straighten up. And so, I mean, and also the prophet said that he's going to stop the Europeans from thinking and get the Moors back to thinking. You know, keep them in power long enough that we will learn the system. I think it's about that time. You know what I'm saying? It's everything that was in darkness coming to the light. We're in the age of clarity. You know? So, you know, everything's subject to change. It's
Yes. Now, just to kind of go off what you said, brother, let me just make sure the sister probably ain't got nothing to say. I probably ain't heard her voice in a while. Sister Mary, you got anything you wanted to say to any of that? We'll say it.
Oh, no, I'm listening.
Okay. Now, yeah, you said some great stuff, Brother Divine, and it made me think, like I spoke about earlier before you came, and I was speaking about how these certain organizations are already up and running. Just like Moore Science and Temple America, Nation of Islam, these are pretty organized organizations, and they do have brick and mortar when it comes to buildings. Now, I don't know about agricultural-wise or anything, but let's say, we'll put it like this. Do you have any knowledge or anything where there is black-owned farms, produce in any state, or anything that we probably can link up with, already built and running out, you know?
Yeah, of course I do. Of course I do. The thing is that these brothers are elderly. They've gotten so much in age and helped people out, and they had their own rules to the land that people really couldn't follow. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's land out there. I cut 11.5 acres right now in Memphis, and that's just, you know, that's just on the GP, you know. But I mean, yeah. I mean, for what purpose? That's the question after that. For what purpose? And will that person accept the offer?
Yeah, it would be for like I say, it's just almost that part of that next step. Because once we're speaking about schooling, we know it's more of a, I won't say that it's a priority, but if we can start feeding ourselves right, because for some reason there is something spiritual about what you eat. It does affect the way you think. So that's what is anybody, you know, dealing with farming or produce in any state or anything, that we can probably maybe back this person, because it's not only, it's so many people we need to support. the more signs of America. We need to, I would personally say even Sarnell, he is putting out a lot of information. It's so much that because, and this is why I'm starting to get on support and funding, because I know how much I spent. And this is a receipt I got. I spent like $10 last month just on Redbox. That could have went to some black organization. Shoot, what else I bought? Some earphones. I do have junk money that goes in junk places. I'm trying to just shift, my junk money and put it in effect. So that's why I just asked for anything that you might know, somebody who we can support outside.
Oh well. My opinion of that. See, I've been talking to a lot of people since I was young, and my thing is advertise. If they seeking, they gonna find it. If they not, the door gonna be on. See, all we gotta do is let it be known that we here. It's kind of like Bobby Womack, Harry Hippie. You know what I'm saying? You can take the horse to the water, but you can't make them drink it. Yeah. So, I mean, people have no excuse now. You know what I'm saying? Martin Luther King died for us to go to the library successfully to get on the computer, but when you go to the library, people on Facebook, instead of looking up documents about the law, or using Google to just research simple things, or, just to know that there is a fish that walks on mud or live in mud. You see what I'm saying? Like, we are oppressing ourselves now. So it's not about the European anymore. It's about our lack of the information and us unifying and being in fear of certain things too. False evidence appearing real. Being in fear would do something too. But I suggest to read certain chapters that goes along with those things that one is having difficulty with in the subconscious mind, to have a better understanding about life as a whole in general. It'll make it easier, keep it simple.
Okay, Zeke, like, question to you, is there any organization or business or platform, anything else outside that you may know about that maybe we need to put $1 in, start trying to, like say, put our junk money and place it in the right place? Any place you think that we maybe need to start putting some little funding into? Because like I say, we don't unify, and that sometimes, like the brother say, sometimes it takes us searching and finding that business that, hey, this little mom and pop store, all it needs is a little few extra dollars and they can do miracles.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying now. We having a body.
You can go back, Klein, and I'm going to let Zeke go.
Okay.
No, you want me to go? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. We having a body politic right now. If you put certain people over the books at the Secretary of State, etc., then those certain people have to be in a trust with everyone on this phone. That means that we have an email address and a password that all the trustees have. That's just the fact in setting up a corporate organization within the Moorish Science Temple of America. But certain keys and certain leaders are oppressing the movement and not letting the truth be known. It's got way much more history than people are really sharing. And it's a shame, really, because there's certain stuff we talking about tonight that's like, it's hurtful to me. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I want to aid and assist and get, the ball rolling probably on another night on, breaking it down because, the conference call was already started. So.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like I said, I'm going to try to do this definitely on Sunday night, depending on what time zone. Sister Mayo, just real clear, what state were you in again?
I'm in Macon, Georgia.
Okay, you in Georgia. I know Brother Divine in Memphis. Zeke is in Florida. I'm in Texas. Some of us, we're mostly Central and Eastern time. So, yeah, like I say, every Sunday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central. Like I said, we're going to definitely try to have these bills. Even if we start off like we saying, just like Sister said, we got to work out our administrative as far as how we want to run this fund me. But even if $1 every time we even have a conference call, that can it's a small step in the right direction. And like you say, unifying is definitely the biggest key. And on top of unifying is knowledge. Because like he said, you can lead them to what's the water, but you can't make them drink. But like he said after that, everybody has the opportunity to change. So even though a person is lost right now, we still shouldn't give up on them. So that was some good information. I know I had some other topics. Let me go to my little notepad. But if any, because like the brother said, this is a good bill. Talking about some good, powerful information. What did I have there? But if anybody got something to say, okay, I found my notes. Alright, here go my next thing. One of my notes said, should we tear down or build up? Meaning in a sense, let me get back to the conference call screen. There's 2 ways to push knowledge, I think. I kind of believe in tough love. Some people kind of believe in a more subtle approach where you try to uplift the person in spirit, even when they down, let them know everything will be alright. Keep pushing, brother. Or should we come from a point of, let's see, I see somebody's, I'm going to just use this term because this is almost my background, drug dealer. Somebody's drug dealer. Should we go there and say, hey, brother, more of a subtle approach, try to teach him, hey, brother, the effects of drugs, come at him in a soft manner, or should we go in a more aggressive tone, meet him in a street level voice? There's like I say, there's a group that's supposed to be in Detroit, and they're literally supposed to be running people off the streets who's selling. So should we build up or tear down? Should we, if I see a person, and this is one thing that kind of, just give one more example. I used to have an uncle who was on drugs. I felt like the best way to reach him is to talk down on him, make him feel bad about his situation. And this is just me. This is why I want to hear everybody's opinion. I felt like I need to trash him, call him dirty, you stink, to try to let him know your situation is bad. There's no way to really sugarcoat it. You need to, you need to go base. You funky. You need to clean up. It's dirty. You need to really, or should I probably have come in hey, brother, let me pick this up with you. Let me, but I hope y'all get the question. So, I'm going to start with Z. Which one? You want to tear down or build up? You think, brother? You got your mic muted. I don't know if you're trying to speak. But if you can't speak, I'm going to pass it to the Sister Mayo. So, Sister Mayo, what you think about that? Tear down or build up?
Me personally, I think that a more subtle approach would be okay, at first, and if you don't see any change, then it's time to tear down, and be more candor than anything. Because I too dealing with a certain situation. I have a father. My father is on crack, and me personally, I just feel I'd rather not deal with my father at all and let him find his own way. Because I do know my father at a point in time where he wasn't on drugs and he wasn't the man that he is today. And I know what type of person he can be. But what caused him to have this problem, I have no clue. I never really asked him. I just rather not deal with him, period. And it's kind of hard for me to say exactly what I want to say to my father, because that is my father. So like I said, I take a more subtle approach and just don't deal with him. And if he needs food or if he needs money sometime, I will supply that for him. But other than that, it's nothing more and nothing less. Because I feel like at one point in time, he was a person that was doing well. And he know how to build himself up. And he teared himself down. And me personally, I just rather not deal with it.
Okay, Brother Divine, build or tear down?
My brother said we gotta, sir.
Like the sister said, she might have to do a little bit of both. But go ahead.
Oh, no. You can't fight fire with fire. Thing is, we gotta uplift the spirit. You know what I'm saying? We gotta uplift all in humanity. That's the purpose. So you gotta go to the root of the subject of the problem. We as people have an opinion of what we think about the character or what others say of someone's character, but you don't know what they dislike for them to start using the drug. So you have to meet them where they at. You have to understand where they coming from. That's on all aspects, as far as dealing drugs, using drugs, etc. You have to understand why that is there. I mean, as far as like, okay, but if anything to tear down the painful memories. It was a group home down here in Memphis that females used to go to. My sister was one, and they tore it down because the group home really wasn't helping them. They was doing some of everything. So they tore it down due to the fact that, the memory, the painful memory. When people pass by, it's tragic. So we have to go back to the root of the problem, because like I'm not familiar with which one of you said it, but it was the clue. You have no clue why your father is on drugs, but see, we have to go back to the clue, because that's a question mark, and that's something that person probably didn't have a clue either. But it takes two or more. You know what I'm saying? Like it, 1 + 1 = 2. So it's got to be on an even foundation or level.
Zeke, I don't know if you're there or you still just listening in. If you got something to say, unmute yourself. If not, we'll keep pushing. Like I said, I got a few topics that I wrote down. I gotta go back to my notes. Yeah, go ahead, sister.
Oh, this is me. This is Shamaria. As far as tear down or build up, I would say it depends on like what particularly is happening at the time. Like, for example, you gave the example of somebody that's on drugs. They harming themselves. So my approach would be more subtle, like, because obviously they have something that they need to work on so that they can love themselves. But different situations, like in my family, my family has an issue with incest. uncles touching on little cousins, and it's a subject that makes me real upset because nobody in my family is standing up for my little nieces, my little cousins, and that's one also reason why I don't allow my kids around my family because I don't trust them. So in that type of scenario, I go hard. I don't like to play with it. It is what it is because they hurting somebody else. They're not just hurting themselves. So I think it's both. It's tear down and it's build up.
Yeah.
All right, anybody else got anything to say? All right, like I say, it's good conversation, some good information being put out, and a lot of people named some good examples to where sometimes you got to, even like the brother keep, like I say, if we go back to the book, it does say there's a time for peace, there's a time for war. There's a time to be silent, there's a time to speak. So definitely, like I say, some good information. Let me go back to my notepad. Alright, this is kind of, we already touched upon this a little bit, but not really exactly how I got it wrote down. What I got wrote down is, should we join the organizations that's already in progress? Are the people outside of the organization slowing down the movement and keeping the separation? Or should we, like you say, okay, the Nation of Islam now, let's just jump into it. The more science now, let's just jump into it. Let's say the Hebrew Israelite movement is there, let's just jump into it. What other movements? The RBG, excuse me, the RBG movement is there. Let's just jump into it because, and this is, like I say, I've seen a lot of videos from a lot of people, different perspectives, and this is why I like to hear real people in real time where you can respond or build. Like I say, should we jump into these organizations? Like if there was a Marcus Garvey here today with that type of movement, should we just jump into the biggest organization and ride the wave, see what happens? Or should we just wait until we know, like you say, that third eye, Zeke said, should we wait till we know and feel it? Like, okay, this is what I need to be a part of. You can go ahead, Divine, if you want to open up.
Sure. I can only speak. Well, no. My answer to that question is no. The reason for it being no is because of the purpose of the organizations is not meeting this criteria. I'm gonna touch on a few subjects of the groups that you named. First off, Moorish Science Temple of America infiltrated. It being infiltrated on 3 different levels. With the Black Feet Stones, the faithful Moors and the unfaithful Moors. That's one. The Hebrew Israelites, it's a place. That's not a nation. So we're really still going to be under somebody's jurisdiction when it comes to the United States Corporation. Nation of Islam is still pushing black. That's still being chattel property under the U.S. corporation. So, and for a fact, Father Muhammad studied under Drew Ali in the Adab chamber and took that knowledge and got paid off of it. And for another factor, they supposed to be the Department of Security. That's why it's mostly martial arts and whatnot, so on and so forth. I feel like we should come together here and vote and appoint people here and have our own trustee board and have our own organized body politic, theocratic government right here to where we can actually operate and utilize resources, not under nobody's jurisdiction. I can be a Mason all day, but as long as I got a charter, I'm under somebody's jurisdiction. And if they got a jurisdiction, they under somebody else's jurisdiction. So what's the true meaning of being sovereign? But people say they sovereign, but then they still going to work a 9 to 5 and taking somebody's orders instead of letting it be. It's bananas. So, conversating with those organizations, I feel like we should do, but joining them, no. Because if I gotta join you to get some literature, why am I there? You gonna blindfold me coming in? You know what I'm saying? So, why put money in somebody else's pocket when you can invest it and do with it what you want to do? I deal with real estate, so I'm not gonna put no money in your pocket if I'm not gonna. It's a bird feeder. You gotta have a bird feeder. So yeah.
All right, Sister Mayo. Like you say, the question, like you say, should we join an organization? Go ahead.
Progress, I would say build your own organization. Like Brother Devon said, they are already under jurisdiction and getting paid by the government. So I would say build your own and go from there.
All right. If you got any more, please go ahead.
I don't.
Okay. Chamaria, you got anything you want to add? She's probably still busy. Zeke look like he's still muted. I guess I'll say my little 2 piece on it. Like I said, I agree with everything y'all saying. I think there is some problems with some of them organizations and movements. Don't get me wrong, but like you say, I feel like the brother said, them organizations don't really see you as part of them unless you paper in, signed in. That's one thing that I always did dislike, because if we all family, which they teach, but unless you pinned in a lot of them groups, you're not going to be treated like that. Like I say, starting with us right now, I'm loving that idea, but like we talked about earlier, we need to put it to, so if we're going to try to build with us here, I think that we should this is the first step to that trust. We need to at least all come back here next week at 9 Eastern, 9 Central, 10 Eastern. And then we can see who was just talking or who's really trying to build. Because like we talked about, we need to establish some trust and put 1 or 2 tests in front of each other, and then we can really see. And then we maybe can take this next step to, all right, let's get this dollar a paycheck. Okay, let's figure out who's going to operate in this division. Oh, Sister Mayo, you handle this. Divine, okay, this is you. Shamir, this is you. Z, this is you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not opposed to dealing with other people, because like I said, this is something new. This is something that I know that I want to build with people, but I'm not saying we could be the core. Others can come. We can all have a role, but we got to have this test and see if everybody's going to be back. And like I said, all this kind of ties in. This is why this has been such a good conversation. So, if anybody got anything else to say on this, say it. I get to the next thing. It's almost wrapping it up. I know the sister, but anybody got something they want to say to what?
I just have something. Oh, go ahead.
Let the sister go, then Divine go ahead.
Mm-hmm. When you were speaking on, do you have any organizations or any people that you know? I have a few people, which he has his own construction company. And I know another brother that's an electrician. And both of and it's a place down here in Macon that I go to. It's called the Homeland Village. And basically the Homeland Village is like an educational center. He serves food. He have books. It's a cultural environment. And he teaches, and he does other things. He teaches kids how to play tennis. At one point in time, we was teaching children how to play tennis. My daughter was in a program over the summer where they were teaching them how to write books, be their own authors. And she just needs help as far as financing it, donations to build even more in advertisement. Like Brother Devon said, he doesn't have very much advertisement. And it's right here in the neighborhood. It's off the street, and it's so sad because we have a lot of people in the community that don't support this brother. It be people coming from Atlanta, it be people coming from other different areas of Middle Georgia that support this brother. And it's a few other people that he has connection with that help him grow as well. And even with with brother the other brother that I mentioned, Brother Chuck, he's an electrician. He has his own electrician company, and we all conjure up at the Homeland Village sometime and try to put ideas in order. It's just networking, and that's the biggest issue, networking.
Okay, go ahead, Devon. What you gonna say?
I kind of lost my thought. But as far as yeah, you want to repeat the question?
Bring you back. I know I was talking about trying to bring everybody back here next week, starting with that.
Okay. I remember. Can we appoint someone to get information from everybody to send that out as far as a secretary/communicator for a reminder? See, we can't lay down a law if we don't put nothing in front of them. So even besides that, with the test, we can issue for everyone to go pick up a document or do something that doesn't require funds, or study something. You know what I'm saying? To see if they put forth the effort to just read. I got really like a street background, so it's all too familiar, with me. But yeah, having somebody who can set up and send out the information where there is no excuses. If you get the text, reply back, okay, I got it. A lot of people have no business through the day, so you probably have to limit how you text with a group text message. Some people get kind of iffy on that. Stop texting like that, and so on and so forth. And we can get on something internationally as far as just setting things before the table and seeing who's gonna take that step up. And those are the ones that you need. And you let the others weed themselves out. You miss more than 2 calls, okay. We can call and check up on you. You don't answer the call, okay, I don't know what to do. But as long as we got your email, you know that we having conference calls and so on and so forth. And then we have such a strict security on when people call into the conference line. You know who call in. You see? So, that's the solution.
Man, that's powerful. I'm loving it. Like you say, not only are we trying to come back, and like you say, we can educate ourselves at the same time if we're going to take this responsibility on. So I'm writing all this down. Like the brother say, because I'm the one who's kind of initiated this conference call and putting out this information, I definitely take that responsibility. And because I'll reach out to everybody, I send personal text. I don't send group text. I either go hit you in the inbox on your Facebook, not in no group message, or your phone single-handed, because I kind of still, I might write Brother Divine a little different on how I write Z. Because I might know, okay, this person, like Brother Sheen Bay, I know he drive trucks, so I know I need to probably hit him up at a little different time and different way. Make sure he ain't got much to read. He on the road. But I will take that responsibility. I will say this. I am looking at some people's numbers. Now I would need your obviously your permission to take your number. Like Divine, I can see your number. Sister May, I can see your number. Is it okay if I take your number down and text you?
Sure.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Okay, so I would definitely do the organizing far as hooking us up to come back to this point and continue to have this conversation. Like you said, we need to start giving out some information on each of us. I don't really have a topic. I can probably pull some out. Maybe we should study that, all of us, if we're going to be doing this. Like I said, I have a street background. I kind of operate my business affairs as if it's in a drug dealing way. And that's the only way I know how to do business. So I would encourage everybody to, and like I said, this ain't got to be what it is, to study business administrator. There's a lot of people who, you can do it in a lot of ways. And I say study. Some people watch videos, some people read books. What I'm trying to say, somebody should bring back at least next week some type of a business administrative system, idea, plan, perspective, something that can help us organize this a lot better. Saying, okay, somebody might can say, well, there's 5 parts to a business. There's economics, promotion. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I would ask everybody to study. But if it was just an idea, like I said, I try to have ideas. Just let everybody speak. I know Zeke had came on real quick and back muted his mic. Zeke, I know. Did you want to say something? If not,
I came back and I caught you all that. Well, I guess trying to figure out a plan and the way things gonna be handled right now.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know how much you heard of this. But, and I'm gonna post this on Facebook. Just a bit. I'm trying to figure out the quickest way I'm getting used to this conference call system. Let me shoot it straight to Facebook because I want this information to be heard, so that there are other genuine brothers and people who can really hear our conversation and try to reach out and be a part of the story.
All right. I'll try to figure out something about the app and see if you can share the app or the group like we was trying to do that one time. Yeah. Or just copy and paste the picture like you do and post that.
Yeah. So we're gonna try to get this information out because information, like the brother say, it's only being hindered by the person in itself. So now, brother Divine, since I got you here, I posed questions earlier. And I told her that you might, or either Sheen Bay might be able to address her question. She was kind of dealing with status correction. I think she worded it as in, if she stopped operating under her old alias or old name and come to her new identity, do she still have to pay the debt she accumulated under her old identity? Or is any of this stuff plausible, or is it just, false information, status correction, and getting out of this corporation Or I hope you understand the question. If the sister needs to rephrase it, she can. But go ahead, Divine.
Yeah. It's possible. Business in your old name is your straw man. So the business in your old name that you have a debt for, the straw man is going to pay that off through the title of the birth certificate. Now, that's an ongoing process.
If you explain the straw man a little bit, I'm not even with. I don't know if she.
The straw man is an alphabet that does not have to be picked up by the pen, which means in all caps. All caps. Your name in all caps is an improper noun, which means you're not a person, place, or a thing. You're property. And property can't own property. So that goes back into jurisdiction, etc. So that's the reason why you won't utilize or make private contracts upon the name of the straw. You would just do business as the straw. But you should have a board of trustees, which meaning people amongst your own peers who knows you or identify you with a specific group, like the Moors, we say El Bay, etc. And we only use the last name. So I'm Walker Bay, Drew Ali, Mealy Hill. That's a trustee, and that's a circle within a circle. So you won't, just like we were talking about the other organization, you got to be in the second chamber, or you got to go to the next level before you get anything. That's their ways or modes of trust. You know, you have to go through a probation period, you know, even with jobs, before you get certain benefits. So you're not eligible to the benefits of a corporation until you put in that time, you know. And likewise, that's with any corporation, that's universal. Due to the fact that, you know, all things are subject to change. You know, the young become old, truth must unfold. So that's what it is.
All right, sister, did he kind of...
Did I answer it?
Yeah, talk to
yeah, kind of, sort of. Yeah, you answered it. What I got out of it is basically whenever you go up under your short name and you go through the second process of owning your name, because your name, like you said, is classified as a business, basically. So whenever when you have ownership of your name, whatever debt you acquired, you can pay it through the straw man account. But I was worried about was the contracts that was already signed under the identity that I have came to claim as my own, even though it's not my own. But once I do claim that
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Okay, the signature only gave credit.
Okay.
That's what gave them the okay to hold some over your head. But once you do the proper paperwork, where you in full control over the straw, and you test it one time, you know that you over control of it because it wouldn't even be eligible to go through.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact, you know. So, I mean, your signature, sig in Latin means no. So that's your no nature. You have no nature to the contract, because the contract has to have 2 or more signatures for it to be a legitimate contract. And in some cases, it had to have a seal, a notary, or a 5x11 legal paperwork for it to be lawfully and legal, as far as due standing goes. Lawful and due standing.
Okay.
So it's kind of like looking at life. Like when you open up your eyes, everything you see is just fictitious, in almost a sense. Or if you look at life like a monopoly board, you know, the home that you live in is just one square on that monopoly board. But when you go to church, you just went around the monopoly board one time. So You know, that's a great way to look at it. You know, and that's a great board game to get for social thinking and conversation. Yeah.
Okay, I hope we addressed it. You know, provided the information that you needed, sister. Now, like we talked about for trust and everything. Like I said, I'm gonna get everybody information this week. Hopefully next week can bring back at least the same group, and then Divine. I don't know if you want to do it now or later, either or. You can share your information, your phone number with the sister Mayo, because like you say, if we gonna be building with this, it can't just be one person contacting. Everybody gotta have this contact. It's gotta be one nice flowing circle. That way, because one person ain't in control of old Mayo can't get in touch with Divine when she need to. She gotta reach out to me and I gotta get him. So I don't know if you wanna do it now. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're familiar with each other.
Okay. Alright, just making sure. But yeah, brother, so we're gonna buy, I don't know if anybody got anything else, information. I know a lot of times I like to talk about some real life stuff that might be happening in the city. I know like last week we talked about the water, how it's poison. Anybody with some new information with the news that might not be pushing, this is a good chance to put that information out if it is any information. So anybody want to say something or not, I go ahead and we'll just shut it down.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, a great book to pick up better than any literature that I ever picked up was the Circle 7 Quran. You get into that Circle 7 Quran, man, a lot of things just unfold. It'll be much clearer to life, to know what the finite things are separate from the infinite, the things that we need and the things that we want. So like we talk about money a lot, but money don't change it. It just helps it for the time being. See, so we got to make change. Let's make change.
So, any information you want to put out?
Oh, no.
All right, Z. I don't know if you're still there. Any information you want to leave us with?
Not really. What you said something about the water? What we was talking about last week?
No, I'm just saying anything that's happening in Tampa that the news ain't covering. I know that we talked about, how, you had the sinkhole. You work on the sinkholes in Florida. Just any information about anything, any book, any information you want to share.
Shoot, nah, ain't nothing really major, man. Only thing I've been hearing about seeing is that stuff going on up there in Charlottesville, man. This man running over people. These white boys out there acting stupid. That's the only thing I've been seeing lately.
Okay. I know me personally, like the brother talked about how he was getting on the meaning of language. I know personally, I don't have this book yet, but I know Moore's definitely push it and tell you to go get it. I definitely want to get me one when I get my funds right. It's a Black Law Dictionary. If you ain't heard of it, please research and look it up. I hear a lot of people talking about this, especially coming legally. Encourage any and everybody try to get you a Black's Law Dictionary. I have no idea how much this costs. I try to provide it next week or where you can get it from. Like the brother said, get the Circle 7. If you want to tell us where to get it or how much it costs, then we're just going to wrap it up.
It's $7. Black's Law Dictionary, $35 to $40. Amazon, Circle 7, $7. $7 to $12, depending on who you know. Or you can just PDF it online for free and print it out yourself.
All right, powerful. Like I said, man, appreciate you guys tuning in. Like I said, try to. Go ahead.
The last thing, I'll be quick. I just wanted to just make a little point about, the brother made a good point. We talk about money a lot, and we got a lot of money in the black community, and it's not really the issue. Is not that we, have money. It's just that we don't have the unity. And one thing about this conference call, I'm hearing a lot of good people out there that we can connect to collectively and make a brotherhood and a real true sisterhood. And one thing I want to mention is just everyday issues. Black people, we're not financially stable, Me and my husband pretty young. We getting our stuff together right now. But sometimes you need $50 to get you through till their next paycheck. And you get all these organizations, these camps, and all these things, and then you got to fill out paperwork. You can't really go to the church and say, can I get $50? I need food in my house. So I just want to propose an idea that we can fall back on each other. Sometimes you don't have that immediate help, and you don't have the paperwork to prove, oh, I make this much and I paid this bill and that. It's just too tough just to get, $50 wired to you. So that would be a good start as well. And I'm not even talking about GoFundMe. I'm just talking about with me and Jamar, he is the, the organizer of this line. We could start ourselves if anybody needs something for their kids, like the sister, single parent. When it comes to children, we need to be able to step up everyday basis and just be able to, Walmart to Walmart, because our people, we can go get food stamps, emergency food stamps. Our black women see the system is there for them. The system is feeding our children. So just as a start, it could change a lot of black women's mind just to know, boom, it's a line out there I can call. It's black people that can provide this emergency assistance that I need to feed my kids today. That's just a little idea I wanted to throw out before we got off the line tonight.
All right, man. That's a real, that's powerful. Anybody else want to say something?
Well, I'm just very quick before we leave. I'm very family detail oriented. 2 movies that I would like you all to watch. Y'all spare time is Goodbye Uncle Tom Cabin and The Spook Who Sat by the Door. 2 great movies. That's all I want to say.
All right. Let me get the name of that second movie. I've seen the first one. The second one.
The Spook Who Sat by the Door and Goodbye Uncle Tom Cabin.
I wanted to ask you, what was the name of that book that you mentioned?
The Black's Law Dictionary of the Circle 7 Quran.
That one.
Go talk to Quran.
Circle 7 Quran? Yeah.
Okay, I have a Quran. Okay.
All right, man. Like I say, I'm gonna touch up on a little bit about what Jamira just put forth, trying to be there for each other. And like you say, if the system can be there for each other, we need to be there for each other, even if it's just a small group. And that's pretty much all night. I'm gonna try to, like I say, get this information out as quick as possible. Post, share. Let people know, hey, there's a conference call Sundays. Sure. The time periods, and let's try to get more people involved. And like I say, start taking these steps. And like I say, please, come back with some information to provide. Even though I'm just setting it up, I don't want to just be the one putting forth questions and ideas, because we all can provide questions and ideas. So, and I know the sister came on, like I say, she had a question, but like I say, I got all y'all information. I got your number, sister, mail 478-335.